staircase leads to nothing. A weird stone head. That doesn't seem to have any practical purpose. This must have been a grand... I think it's an elder bush. The branches are very long. It's pretty difficult to break off branches like these. And the bush, they have a thick, flexible bark and fibrous inner that you simply... This shed looks, on the other hand, Ralph will be better off here than in a sanatorium. Not exactly what you'd call a cozy home sweet home. Hello, Ralph?
Hi, Darren.
What are you two doing here?
We live here.
You've already said, but,
No, the evil house where we used to live doesn't exist anymore.
Could it be that you once lived in Sir Robert's...
And Mr. Bubby, too. He protects me.
It's good to have a friend.
And Mr. Bubby says that all the time.
Did you see the big fire at the lighthouse?
Yeah, I like...
You wouldn't have liked this one.
Angelina was here. She came, and then she went, and then
Hold on. You know?
Yes, she was
So,
here.
there was Angelina and a man...
Yes. First we hid ourselves because it was... But then the fire had shone so nice, we just looked.
Yeah.
Then the fire went out. The rain put it out. Then you fell down and stopped moving. Mr. Bubby said I ought
Tell
to get...
Mr. Bubby thanks from me.
Mr. Bubby says, my pleasure. We don't...
What happened then?
Then the police arrived. We don't like them. They wanted to... Then along came a really nice black car. It looks kind of old, but it was...
Did you see who was sitting in it?
No.
Isn't it dangerous here? The room...
Sometimes stones do fall down when it's stormy, but then we always hide anyway.
Are there good hiding places here then? Maybe some hidden...
We always hide ourselves here in our house.
Yeah, sure. You said that Angelina was here.
Yeah.
When was the first time she was here? Approximately. Around...
100 years ago?
Huh.
She had a very careful look around at everything. She said she was looking for something.
When she was here yesterday and disappeared for...
I don't know. Mr. Bubby wanted to make himself nice for her and didn't look.
Mr. Bubby wanted to make himself nice for Angelina?
I think Mr. Bubby could never bring himself
And now?
Maybe he'll tell her next time when she comes...
That's, You know Black Mirror...
I've never been there. I think there are bad people.
Yes, he was.
Our friend Samuel used to know that...
Samuel Gordon?
He used to help me and Mr. Bubby. But then when they shut down Sir Robert's wicked house, they said that Samuel was a wicked person. I don't believe that. Sometimes you do things that are wrong, but you don't
I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
The raven flew out of a crack in the rock. A heavy stone pedestal. Hey, that's gotta be one of the missing chess pieces. Yes, it's the queen. I heard a quiet click. These stones look a bit weird somehow. It looks like they've been stacked up. There's a little stone figure. Could be a chess piece. Nothing's happening. I heard a quiet click. A solid stone, but how can I shift this slab? A solid, but how can I shift this slab? A solid, but how can I shift? A small, the king went north, the pawn went south, the queen... I can still see her. They look like they've been hanging. They sound eerie. There's a knife. What's that amongst the stone? A chess piece. I wonder who put the chess piece there. It can't have been. A card from the Willow Creek area. It's marked where the I want to find out what Angelina was looking for. Hello?
Hi, Darren.
I saw a raven there.
We don't like him. He's always screeching.
He steals things.
He once stole the lid off one of our cans.
He likes shiny things.
Me too. And it was...
Do you...
What are chess pieces?
Little figures that are kind of kings, queens, castles.
Mr. Bubby found one like that.
Hey, cool.
It's Mr. Bubby's toy.
And would
Mr. Bubby plays with the horse. If you take it away, then he have nothing left to
I understand.
with horses. Mr. Bubby likes music. Maybe you can get him something he can play music on.
That could be a problem. About the horse
Have you got anything you can play?
No.
Mr. Bubby would like something that makes music.
Okay. I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
Cut a little piece out of a branch. I saw that on TV once. Then the bark, then, with just a bit of pressure, you can just cut a slit in the bark here, push the... Hello?
Hi, Darren.
Hey, Ralph!
Wow.
And smaller, too. Now, can I just...
Okay.
I heard a quiet click. I heard a quiet... Phew. The damn bird again. He's got his own private way. So the raven got in here. There's a big hole in the roof. I'd see. Some clothes. And here, that's gotta be Angelina's in here. But one thing at a time. Tuesday, I found him.
He's called Darren Michaels, or rather...
Like I thought. It all fits together. The payments from Willow Creek, there being no pictures of my... There was no car crash. There was a fire. She was sent to the USA and received the only thing I don't understand. This note was stuck in the diary. Darren, I hope this letter finds you.
I can't tell you just how sorry I am that I wasn't honest with you right from the start.
A curse. All of this because of the blood of the Gordon, an occult secret society which like to call up the devil, and it's all so crazy. How can you kill folks in the name of such a fantasy? How can anyone get so caught up in this superstition? But Angelina's right. Bizarre as these people, they've got to be stopped. And Angelina's death shouldn't have been completely. But I should check inside this. A piece of mosaic's not in the ruck. But I should check inside the sleeping bag just to make sure. An old I'd rather leave it where. A stone plinth. I think I know who's got it. Not only have I got to get the 2 pieces from the castle, I've also got to retrieve another from a feathered thief. The gate won't move. The piece of mosaic's not in the ruck, and the raven flew in the direction of the. I'd say the raven. Black Mill. I knew my path would one day lead here. I'll find out who my father is, find the mosaic pieces, but I gotta be damn careful. I wouldn't even have dreamed of standing. It looks just like the castle. The entire estate is probably enclosed by this fence. The gate is bolted and the 2 stone figures look almost identical. Empty. An electric doorbell? Nothing. The braces on this door are badly weathered. 2 have turned to rust. No way. The braces are only connected to the frame on one side, but they're much more resistant than I thought. It seems they're a bit more relaxed with me. There's a really thick branch lying in. It's damp, but no. Nah, I'll only break this good luck. Using this branch as a lever should. That's it.
Hey! How did you get in here?
The gate was open.
Really? I'll ring. I've told her 100 times that the gate must always stay closed.
If you're referring to me, I'm not a yobo.
You don't say.
Can
I help you, sir?
I've told Miss
Lewis, good sir. You'll take care of this bit. You will have to excuse our guide.
My name is Falk. I'm investigating a murder that occurred at the light.
But tell me.
I'm part of an exchange program. The United States, Canada, and Great Britain exchanged it. Sherlock Holmes meets Dick Tracy, you might say.
If the government deems it necessary. What about Inspector Collier? Shouldn't he be accompanied?
He's, sick.
I see. He is getting on a bit.
Phew. This is an amazing property.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, all that history often had plenty
The Gordon family was...
Forgive me for putting it like this, but...
I don't understand what that has to do...
A witness saw an unusual black car at the crime scene.
What?
Unusual enough. Were you up?
The ladies haven't driven out anywhere today. Ask him. He looks after the car.
This Lewis has a big...
He's...
Uh-huh.
He came with his mistress. He used to look after her castle's gardens.
Lady Eleanor owns a castle in Wales?
She does. Her husband.
Interesting. You said...
Lady Victoria. She owns Black Mirror Castle, and Lady Eleanor is a relative. The ladies are the last of the Gordons.
Can I have a word with them?
I would prefer it if you didn't disturb them. Lady Victoria.
No harm in a few...
Whatever there might be to discuss, you can also
This woman has been murdered.
Are you sure, sir?
Sadly, yes. Her name...
Come. One moment.
What was that in the mirror?
Mr. Falk?
Mr. Falk?
Yes, thank you. I didn't... Lady Eleanor. My name is Inspector Falk.
Bates said you had a photograph of the victim.
That's right. Do you know her?
What's her name?
Angelina Morgan.
I don't know her.
If that's everything...
I do have a few more questions.
It's all right, Bates. Of course we will drive to the village and do the job.
Very well, Mom.
So,
You seem to be extremely keen to see the picture. You are sure that you don't know this young lady?
quite sure. Only we are concerned.
Not the first.
Sadly, you're quite right.
Tell me about the series of murders 12 years ago.
No. It doesn't have a thing to
Leave
do...
all that alone. Please confine yourself to this murder case. This...
Your butler Bates seems to be looking after you.
He has been our butler for decades. He is something. He sees it as his high... Also, even if he neglects his own welfare.
Is he ill?
Yes. I fear we've recently taken on domestic help to...
May I look around the castle? I'd very much like...
Of course. Stay as long as you like.
That goes without saying, ma'am. You've only been living here...
That's right.
So you moved in with your relatives in Willow Creek?
Lewis was our gardener in Wales. I offered him to
Which
come.
he doesn't seem to do.
Well, he didn't cope very well with having...
Tell me about your estate in Wales.
It's a lovely castle. Not as big. I haven't been back since we left. It's terrible. I couldn't stomach seeing...
When did your husband die?
A few years ago, Sir Richard. I used to joke that he would blow himself...
I'm willing to bet that, and the phone call would suggest that it wasn't chosen at random. Lewis is here of his own free will.
You are young, Mr. Falk. You don't know what it's like having to leave your home behind. Lewis's roots are in Wales.
Why doesn't he go back?
I've suggested it to him. I promised him a small amount of money to start him off.
Strange.
He's a complicated man. He's been working for me for over 20... I think he blames me for his unhappiness.
What kind of research was so...
He had very diverse interests.
With blood?
He was convinced that the Gordon's blood must... I think he was looking for a scientific...
A curse in a test...
Insanity is hereditary.
Or the misfortune is that explains what Angelina was looking for. I'm going to have another look
It's
around.
nice to see another face.
A basket of knitting gear. May I borrow a piece of thread?
Some thread?
Yes, please.
Certainly. Help us.
Thanks. Good. Thread it. No. No, not now. I don't have anything to ask her. Huh. The plant? No. Really not. I'd say something like a knight or a nobleman. He seems somehow familiar. A small fire for such... The old ladies here seem to be a lot tougher than back in the States. I'll have time to stare into the flames and be all... Jeez. Now that's a friendly-looking face. Wild eyes, evil glare, and...